Today on the podcast, I'm here with Chris Gannon, the co-founder of Bolay, a wellness-focused fast casual restaurant. Fun fact, Chris was chief Osceola at Florida State University. We're going to get all the details on that incredible experience, as well as what it's like to swim around Alcatraz. Hey there, and welcome to the Cinnamon Effect podcast. I'm your host, Kimberly, and I'm thrilled to have you with me on this vibrant journey of discovery and growth. This podcast is your go-to space for embracing intention, where you'll find clarity on your unique path, deepen those meaningful connections, and unleash your creativity like never before. We'll explore how to build unshakable confidence and celebrate the beauty of gratitude, all while savoring the calm that consistency brings to our lives. Thank you for being with me. Let's sprinkle a little cinnamon into your day and make life sweeter, healthier, and more fulfilling. Welcome to the podcast, Chris Gannon.
I'm honored to be here. So exciting.
Thank you so much. We've known each other a while now. You and my husband are friends, kind of through business organization type things. So you were on my hit list kind of from the beginning, like, let's get you in the seat and start chatting about.
Should have had me on sooner.
I know. I feel
Schedules, life, it happens.
I talked to your wife, I feel like a while ago.
That's
and
right.
then we just revisited the whole thing. So you didn't just build a restaurant, Bolay. You built a wellness lifestyle brand. So what made you believe that health and entrepreneurship could go hand in hand?
You know, and we were actually just discussing this yesterday in a deep brand meeting of like what Bolay is, right? For me, it's a lifestyle, because if I can incorporate creating a better for you restaurant brand, because I was just tired of eating kind of all the processed food and crap that is being brought to the industry, and then incorporating movement, right? To whatever level. I'm big in athletics and endeavors and so on and so forth. But we always tell people, it doesn't have to be summiting Mount Everest. I mean, if you go walk a mile a day, that's great, right? Like everybody just has to be a little bit better versions of themselves every day. And if we can do it through diet, right? And then also form of movement, whatever it is, whatever gym, diet, exercise, person you follow, book, whatever, it's pretty obvious what you need to do. You need to move the body the way we were designed from the old caveman days and eat great whole foods from the ground, not processed.
So it was a health mission for you of like, this is what I'm doing, and I think I can bring this to the market. And because I feel like when you started in 2016, right?
Yeah.
There was nothing healthy out there.
No, we were the kind of the first players in the game to bring something in the fast casual realm. And like anything else in business and life, then all of a sudden there's a lot of competitors coming in the market and you just got to keep up in your game. But no, I mean, we wanted to bring, I guess when I grew up, my mother made sure that we had 3 different items on the plate, a starch, a protein, and a vegetable at a minimum, right? And so where can you go get that for lunch in a fast environment? You can't. Everybody says, oh, you got a slice of pickle or a tomato or a slice of lettuce. And that's not vegetables, right? So getting that balanced diet, and how can you provide that in a quick environment and then make it taste really good and serve it with hospitality. And then along that, what I found is building a business, it's like tribes. Human beings I found are tribes. And so whatever energy and culture you create within your organization is the tribe you're building. And everybody, you're beating to that same drum. We're all talking about it. So it's the type of incredible human beings, team members that we select to join our mission, if you will. And then they need to believe in what you're trying to do as well. You can't have someone trying to sell, if you're a car dealership, a Ford, but they're diehard Chevy fans, right? Mm-hmm. So they have to be part of what you're trying to accomplish.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I would say in your stores, it's an upbeat environment. Everyone's very friendly, and seeming like healthy, you get this like healthy vibe going in. And, being gluten-free, you're 100% gluten-free.
Yes.
Now, from the beginning, you were 100% gluten-free. So think 10 years ago when that was not as common. What was that like? Was that like a business decision of you saw a gap in the market for that type of restaurant? Or was it like, this is a personal mission and we're going to try and make it work in the business?
That's and that's the number one question everybody always asks me. And I have become an expert in gluten at this point. But at that point, the honest answer is I had no idea what it was, to be quite frank. And
really?
I think we all know Tito's vodka. And I think we all know the circle around the cap, and it was 100% gluten-free. And in my opinion, that's one of the things that made Tito's with the healthy halo, whatever, if it's healthy or not, it just resonated to me. And so then we started going down the trail, and the chef we found, he goes, yeah, it'd be easy to make a 100% gluten-free menu. You just don't have some of the pastas, and, you use tamari sauce versus soy sauce, and use this noodle versus that noodle. Okay, let's do it. And it was easy. And so we went through the whole 100% gluten-free certified. And then if you've seen over the years, we're 10 years now, we just celebrated 10 years of being in this incredible industry, the ups and downs that we've survived. And looking back on it now, when I started, you would go to a restaurant and the server would never ask you, is there any gluten allergies? Now, when you go to a restaurant, it's almost always asked. Why? Because the incredible growth of, and I do not claim to be a scientist here by any means, but everybody has a gluten sensitivity now. From my learnings, it's not from gluten. It's from American wheat and the American farming system, unfortunately. That's why when you go to Europe, no big deal. People with celiac, and I don't know about celiacs, but gluten intolerances can eat the wheat and so on and so forth. But so yeah, it's been wonderful. And, we've tried to make it where our food tastes great, but also be free of as many of the food allergies as humanly possible. And I will tell you, the most inspiring moments I've had along this journey is when you have families come in and you have young kids that have dietary issues, especially gluten. So imagine a kid going to a birthday party and all of a sudden there's a cake brought out. Well, they can't eat it, right? So all of a sudden, all these other kids can eat all this great food and your kid can't because of this. And then when they come to Bolay, I will never forget it. This mother asked me, hey, is it 100% gluten-free here? My kid has celiac. I'm like, yes, ma'am. We are 100% gluten-free. And then the kid looked at the mom and said, even the chocolate chip cookies? And I go, even the chocolate chip cookies. And it was the first time that young man had ever had a chocolate chip cookie in his life.
Oh.
And so I go, Mom, is this okay if I do this? And she looked at me, I think I'm trusting you. We had, just connected, right? And I basically took the entire bag of chocolate chip cookies. I'm like, man, you got years of chocolate chip cookies catching up. So I just dumped this whole bag of chocolate chip cookies in his bag. And it was a really neat moment of just realizing that we were able to bring something to the market that can connect with so many people.
And those chocolate chip cookies are damn good.
Yes, they are. They're craveable. So I tell you, they're not fat-free, they're gluten-free.
Right, exactly. Which, gluten-free isn't always like, it's, like it's still, a cookie's still a cookie, right?
Cookie's still a cookie.
But yeah, it's a cleaner cookie. And I found out I had gluten sensitivities like in my 40s. Yeah. I never had an issue before. Or so I thought,
Start looking it up. It's I don't want to say the name of the word because I don't want to get sued, but there's a certain chemical that's sprayed on our wheat, which doesn't allow it to properly germinate. And that's really what happens and what your stomach has to do to break that down. And that's the sad thing. But there's a lot of controversy behind all that, so.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Now, when building Bolay, did you ever face pressure to sacrifice health standards for the business or for the growth aspect of it?
Every day. Every day. I mean, that's why I think so many businesses have chosen to put things inside their food to make it more shelf stable and this and that. Because you get in our industry, it's the most difficult thing to scale something and create from scratch whole foods. It's easy to do it at one restaurant, but then you try and scaling that and having the consistency. The number one challenge in the restaurant business is making sure that this restaurant within the same brand, the food tastes the same at the restaurant. Well, guess what? Broccoli comes in different sizes. Our cilantro that goes in our vegan pesto, which we were able to create an incredible herb pesto without sans cheese, dairy, and it's difficult to make that across the board, but that's where we put the extra work and training and processes. But there's a reason why if you go to some of these fast food restaurants and so on and so forth, the food is the exact same at every single restaurant because of the process nature of it. And it's coming out of a bag or a microwave or whatever. And so for us to create that scratch kitchen across the restaurant and, we calibrate our leaders. one leader thinks is too salty versus another leader thinks it's undersalted. But that's the art blended with the science of the industry and the business. And we face those challenges all the time. And it's a challenging industry, but it's also one of the most rewarding industries too. I don't think that people understand the restaurant industry. I think hospitality is the second number of job creation in the country to the U.S. government. And think of everybody who's worked in a restaurant once upon a time. It teaches you hard work, teamwork, food safety, how to deal with a lot of different types of people. And you don't need a college degree to be in our industry. You just need to have great work ethic and the true desire to take care of another human being. And not necessarily, I always tell team members that want to go in the medical field, great, well, you're taking care of people after they're hurt or after they, in our restaurant, you're hopefully keeping people out of the hospital with great nutrition. As we all have learned, nutrition can really help. So, and someone said it best, we want to be healthy, but not clinical. And I've never heard it described like that. And that's what we are trying to be at Bolay is health food, flavorful first, then better for you, but not clinical, because that's not what we aimed out to be this change the world, perfect food. We are better for you with great flavors and genuine hospitality.
I love that.
Yeah.
Now, and I also think like from a wellness standpoint, you can get crazy. I have food sensitivities. I have got a lot going on and I'm constantly having to watch it. And it would be very easy for me to say, well, I'm going to have like a chicken breast and I'm going to have broccoli and I'm going to have, just very, very bland. But what I love about Bolay is that you can go there and literally you could eat there every day of the week and create something different every time and keep it fresh, like keep it, more exciting than just like the chicken breast,
And we have tremendous amount of combinations. I processed the other day and never put in how difficult what we do here. We create noodles in fast casual. Who does that? We do starches and then greens and grains. So we have a lot of greens, so you can choose your bases. And then the oven roasted vegetables, 5 different types. Then we have 4 to 5 different types of proteins, depending on seasonality. That's a lot of optionality. Then you can change the flavor profile by adding roasted almonds or not roasted almonds and giving that crunch. And then, so it's really cool just to create and be your own chef. And everybody gets nervous about making a wrong mistake. And I've built our bowl in every different which way and they all flow together. And yeah.
What was the first bowl like that you made?
Ooh, in the old days, one of our first bowls, and we're bringing it back right now, it's called the Baja Bowl, and it's got our signature lemon chickens as one of the proteins, the pesto sauce, and the black rice, our forbidden black rice, which has got very high in vitamin K, and we make it with a kaffir lime leaf, which was very challenging to source, but we did it, and we keep sourcing it, and we've tried every which way to make it without the kaffir lime leaf, i.e. and gives it that lime zest flavor profile. Highly recommend getting it and cooking at home. It's wonderful. You can freeze it and use it. Nothing mimics the kaffir lime leaf flavor profile. We've tried many different ways and, often replicated, never duplicated.
Wow, very interesting. I've never tried to cook with that, so I have to try something new there. How are you as a leader with your team?
It'd be interesting to ask them. I do a lot of, we call them 360s, where I get a lot of feedback. I thrive on feedback from my team on how I can become better as a leader. I've had CEO coaches. I lean in. I am part of YPO, lean on other peers to constantly become a better leader for my people, our people, not my people, excuse me. And I believe that nobody works for me. Everybody works with me. And we always truly say that. We don't use the word boss at Bolay. We use the word leader because leaders lead by example. And it's a journey, Kim. It's such a leadership journey when you start out, early on becoming a founder, creating something, kind of shooting from the hip, your gut, then growing into a bigger business, then a bigger business, and then you're getting pulled into HR and insurance and financials and all this other stuff that kind of pulls you away from boots on the ground. And so I literally on my schedule is force myself. I work stations. I work in the restaurants to be side by side. And it's always so eye-opening. I feel like instead of going and being undercover boss, just do those activities that you learn a lot from undercover boss. Just go do it and be in the stores, restaurants, side by side with the team and ask them great questions on, hey, how's this? What can we improve? I mean, they give us what to work on. And then that's our job at the corporate team is, our job is just to support the restaurants. When this corporate team is there doing our job, we are making sure the restaurants are successful. When they're successful, the business is successful. When the business is successful, we can grow and provide more opportunity for more people and expand our brand. So it's tough. I mean, it's the pressures of commodities and supply chain and cost and, investors to that's the nature of being the leader. You got to keep everybody happy.
Right.
And, all stakeholders, right? The investor partners, your team, your guest, the company, and it's like a four-legged stool. And, you take one leg out and the stool falls. So you got to make sure they're all balanced. And then, your personal life, your family life, but I wouldn't choose it any other way.
Yeah. What's been the most difficult, do you think, the most difficult experience or maybe aspect of the business that?
Scaling and growth, because it's such a balance of needing to grow the company to provide opportunity and keep expanding the brand to where, growth is the oxygen for great talent in your company. Without growth, you don't have great talent in your company. And so you need to constantly provide opportunity for your people to grow as well. So balancing that and the financial returns of the business and making sure that you have enough, return on your, equity and so on and so forth to make sure that I call it the business algorithm, that once you learn the algorithm, what it costs to build a restaurant, how long does it take it to make money? How long does it take to bring people together, to expand the brand in a community? Because you think it's easy, but every time you open up a restaurant in a new community, you're the new kid on the block, and you're competing against national brands with national advertising, marketing budgets. So you gotta just do what we did in the beginning days and out-chain the chains and out-hospitality them, and just be scrappy and win. I equate business to sports. Being an athlete growing up, and everything is winning and losing as a team, and I'm just the head coach. And, the good news, the buck stops. The bad news and the good news is the buck always stops with me. I take full responsibility at all times for every single thing within the organization, because we either selected the wrong person to do the said task, or we didn't give them enough tools, training, or clear direction on what's expected to do the job to go win. And winning, is like everything. You're either losing, coasting, or winning. And winning is tough. Winning is like working out. It's that extra 2 push-ups when your muscles are screaming at you, and that's the difference between winning and just getting by, I think.
Yeah. Now, you co-founded the restaurant with your dad, who's the co-founder of Outback Steakhouse.
Yeah.
What have you learned from him just over the years and doing this venture together?
Oh, it's been such a beautiful journey with my father. He's one of the greatest in the industry, and I will say the best part about it is when he built the business, he treated everybody right. Vendor partners, they made countless millionaires throughout the Outback company. So anytime I come across anybody and they recognize my last name, oh my God, Tim Gannon. And there's always 5 stories about what he did for them. And when you hear that enough, you're like, that's what I want to be. I want to be him. And so you ask for my greatest hero, and it is my father, right? I mean, I'm surrounded by so many talented people, but nobody as big of a dreamer as my father. He came from nothing and he created Outback. And, people think that we were always, well off or whatnot. We weren't. Came from very humble means in New Orleans, Louisiana, with not a lot, but we always had love. We always had food on the table, and the rest never mattered. And I learn a lot about that all the time. Even when I look at food to this day, if there's food on my plate, hey, do you like it? Is that cooked perfect? I mean, it's food in front of my plate. I'm grateful. Thank you. Right. And so, I can't say enough about what he's done. And my mother as well. My mother in New Orleans taught me the art of hospitality and ladies and gentlemen, truly serving ladies and gentlemen. And when you come to your home, you're welcomed, you're offered a glass of water or a beverage or whatnot, and you make sure that everybody's comfortable in your environment. And so we transcend that same thought process in the restaurants. We don't have customers at Bolay, we only have guests, because we truly believe you're a guest in our restaurant and we want to serve you. You worked hard for your money somewhere, and you're choosing to spend it at our restaurant versus every other restaurant out there. We need to work extra hard to make sure that you feel like you got value for your hard-earned money that you've, after tax, you've been taxed out the wazoo, and so on and so forth. So, but no, I'm blessed and honored by my upbringing. I was filled with love and through family and through great mentors, and a lot of Marines helped raise me as a young kid. So I had that Marine influence in me and that patriotism, service mentality, and humility. So trying to hold on to all that as we grow a brand and business. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. That's very special that you have done this with your dad. It sounds like he has an amazing reputation. I can remember being in college and like the hot place to work was Outback.
Yeah.
Right? Like everyone wanted a job at Outback.
Cool uniforms, the no rules, just right mentality, the
Totally.
culture in it. And it's true. It's like, think how many times you go to somewhere and you're told no or you're not this because it doesn't confide within their rules, right? So we try and really work on that at Bolay, is figure out what are rules versus principles and giving our guiding principles to where anybody in the company can make a decision for the betterment of the guest or the betterment of the company within the framework, right? We don't want people bringing in, pink Cadillacs to sell in the front of our restaurant. But for the most part, we try to mimic the no rules, just right principle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I forgot about that. The no rules, just right.
No rules, just right. It was what made that company.
Yeah. You as a dad, I, of course, know you personally, and have seen you lead your children with athletics. And you said right before we started, body in motion stays in motion, right? So how important is that to you? And, one morning in particular, I can remember seeing something on Facebook where your daughter was out there like 5 a.m. and you were running because you do triathlons, and she was right there alongside of you. And I thought, wow, because she was young. She was maybe only like 6 or 7.
Yeah.
I was like, that's amazing.
And you start filming that stuff again. It's funny. You just kind of forget to put that out there. But no, we believe to inspire our children, and a family that inspired me to do that are the Rebacks. They're incredible local family here. David, who's got, every time I feel like I'm up against something, I think of what would David and Liette do. They have 16 children, and they've been able to raise a business, start charity. So I'm like, if they can do it, I can do it. So I'm just surrounded by so many wonderful people like that. And watching him at 5 a.m. with his kids, and we swim the intercoastal here and we go bike. And so instilling that in our children. And, the days that I get them up to go do something in the morning and how they perform in school and come home that day versus the times they don't. Kids are energy, balls of energy. And then you go make them sit in a classroom all day long. You got to expel that. It's like a dog in the morning. I hate not equating my kids to a dog, but it's an animal. You get that energy out in the morning, then kind of focus during the day, and then get that energy out in the afternoon. Mm-hmm. And that competitive spirit, I think, competition is really a positive in our children's lives, and watching them accomplish something. I watched my daughter, complete her first triathlon and got second on the podium. Then she worked harder at it and got first. And watching that light bulb click of, if I put in the extra work, that's how I get from second to first. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And we showed the pathway to do it. She put in the work. I wasn't out there on that race course with her. That was her. And we also teach the values of encouragement to other kids, that when you're running by someone else on the track, that you say great job and you motivate and you inspire, because anybody out there doing a race, great for them because they're out there, they're not on their couch.
Yeah.
And like I say, not everybody has to be a triathlete, but you just got to get outside. Mm-hmm. Get outside and move and get that heart rate up above 120 beats per minute. The best quote I ever heard was, "I regret working out, said no one ever."
Right. So true.
Right? So when
true.
you're done doing whatever workout it is, to whatever level is within your purview, you don't regret it. Mm-hmm. Good sweats. It's the way to get all the toxins out of your body. But no, we have fun, and a cool way to see the sunrise in the morning. We talk about it. It's a moment to reflect, and sometimes we pray on our runs too, and thank God that we have 2 healthy legs that we're able to run versus someone who may be in a not so great of a position. And so, hey, we're healthy. We got 2 legs. Someone without 2 healthy legs right now would die to be in our situation. Let's not take that for granted. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
I love that. It's very special.
And one of the cool things I always like to, kids are going to be kids, make mistakes. I still make mistakes today's day and age. The only person who doesn't is you. You're like Miss Perfect, Kim.
Well, and your wife too.
Yeah.
So the wives, we don't make mistakes.
Well, I don't know. My wife makes mistakes, but she's pretty darn perfect. But every time our children make mistakes, the punishment, the severity of the mistake is the amount of push-ups that they have to do. And so every single thing comes with a level of push-ups that they have to do versus go sit in the room and this and that. Like, hey, you're going to exercise this out. You give me 10. We don't wait to do them. Our children have done push-ups in the middle of a restaurant. Our children have done push-ups on the side of a road in New York City on the street.
Okay.
It happens no matter what. They got to drop and give the severity, and we decide, and they weigh in on the decision on how severe, whatever it is, if it was a small thing versus a speak back to their mother, which we don't tolerate. That one gets the most amount of push-ups. And lying is a big one. Lying is a big one. That one comes with a lot of push-ups.
Like how many push-ups are we talking?
Once it was up to 1,000.
Oh, wow.
And they had X amount of time to complete it, but it was 1,000.
Okay.
And this was for a lie, and they know not to lie because their little arms will be feeling it.
Yes. And I bet sister wants to tell how many brother should do, and brother wants to tell how many sister should do, right?
No, they know.
Like, he did that.
They work together too. So I'm getting child safety called on me after this one. But.
I know, right? You guys took a sabbatical in Italy last year, right?
We did a little bit. It was one of our dreams was to go spend some time. My wife is an incredible woman who works her butt off and has contributed to this family and being an incredible mother while balancing top sales executive for Cigna Healthcare. And it was always a dream of ours to spend a little bit of time in Europe with the kids and kind of show them a different way of life. And we were able to do it and balance work and remote work and how we did it. And we did everything. The Italian countryside. We rented electric scooters. We rode horses. We went truffle hunting. We just did it all. And my son and I got to go do a wild boar hunt over there. And then we have a rule that we make sure that we cook whatever and we eat whatever we take. And we grilled our meat in our cottage over there, some Italian music playing. We felt like we were in a movie, and it was magical on so many levels. And look, we're big travelers. We love to expose the kids to the world and different cultures and lifestyles and cuisines. And, a lot of kids won't eat this or won't eat that. Our kids will eat anything because we've exposed them to so many things. And they don't care for everything at a certain point, but we've created some educated taste buds where they don't say no when they try new things. They're open-minded, and that takes time. A lot of families don't. Oh, my kid won't eat that. Well, yeah, they will. Eventually, they'll eat it. If there's no food in front of them, they'll eat it.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
But it's funny. My son wants to try more when he's traveling. It's almost like he's given himself permission to just kind of try something and either like it or not like it, right? And he wants to do it. Now, he may go back to, his set things that he likes when we're home, but when he's abroad, he's checking out new things.
Yeah.
And actually, we just went to Park City and they had a chef's tasting. They're going for a Michelin star, this restaurant out there. And they had a chef's tasting menu. And my son was like, I really want that menu, and it was, 6 courses. It was $185. And we were like, oh, we're going to he's probably not going to eat a bite of this because it was like an oyster. It was all these different things that he'd never tried. Quail, all kinds of stuff. And he hammered that chef's menu. And we were like, okay, I loved that he was wanting to try it, and give that experience a try.
Well, you got to also remember too, and I forget this too, that our taste buds over the years have been experienced to big peppers and salts and textures and temperatures and children haven't exposed that, so everything is so new to them, and the way that it reacts into their mouths and their palates triggers different things, and so it takes time for them to understand what all that is and get used to it. But where does growth come from? Growth comes from being uncomfortable, and so being a little uncomfortable comes with growth. If you eat the same thing every night, chicken fingers or whatever that the kids want to eat because that's what they're comfortable, they're not growing.
Yeah.
And, as in life, going to business dinners and social events, you're going to be put food in front of you, and you don't want to be the person, I don't want to eat that. It's good to expose them to a lot of different things. So.
Yeah, it is. One of my favorite stats about you is that you were chief Osceola
That's right.
at Florida State University.
That's right.
My husband went there. How did that all happen? You said you were involved in athletics, so maybe talk about that phase of your life.
Yeah, once upon a time, my father got into polo, and he started playing polo with him on horseback, and got to play polo, and was blessed to play around the world, and played against the royal family in the UK, and won the U.S. Open here in the United States with the greatest polo player of all time, Adolfo Cambiaso. And then I went to Florida State University, and I met a great friend of mine, Adam Corey. We were sitting on the sideline watching a game.
I know Adam Corey.
Everybody knows Adam Corey. He's the legend.
Right.
He's a wonderful human being, the connector of all connectors. And my father goes, Chris, there's one way to stand out at this university, right? If not, you're a sea of 90,000 kids. He goes, you need to be that guy on the horse. And I was like, I need to be that guy on the horse. And Adam was standing right there. He goes, you need to be that guy on the horse. And I'll never forget going to Florida State as a young kid and watching Chief Osceola from a kid's eyes, and just watching my eyes lit up. And Adam so and so forth knew the family, the Durham family who ran the program, and got me connected. And it just so happened, it was fortuitous that they needed the next Osceola in the coming year. And obviously I had the equestrian skills. And I went out and did the tryout. It's very difficult. They don't do open tryouts. They go select kids, because if not, everybody says they can ride a horse. Well, you have to really be able to ride. I mean, you're riding bareback, 400 band members strong, rearing up the horse with a flaming spear. There's so many aspects that can go wrong putting an animal in a situation where it needs to trust you, and you need to communicate with the animal that it's not going to get hurt. But they don't know that, right? Loud noises, fireworks, band members, to them, that's fear. So it's a fight or flight, and horses will run, and you don't want them running in a stadium. So you had to have the right GPA. So I had to have a 3.0 or higher, and got that. And you had to read and write a book on Osceola and learn all about this incredible character, Osceola, who, if you don't know, the reason why Florida State's the unconquered was because Osceola was brought in under a flag of truce. And then he died in prison of malaria. So he was never conquered. The Seminole tribe was never technically conquered. He died under malaria and under a flag of truce. So reading all that and understanding that nobody understands that they're true. And then the Seminole Indian tribe is incredible supporters, because we represented, I was never a mascot, it was pageantry. So we represent an incredible Native American culture in the school, and the Durham family, on how they uphold the values of that is inspiring. And I learned so much from that opportunity. And Alan, I mean, we were 3 a.m. washing the truck, bathing the horse for a 12 o'clock game. I mean, we went there, and it was professionalism upon professionalism. And it was not that trained 5 days a week, practice and practice and practice to get that perfect plant, the perfect rear. And
wow.
People don't realize what goes into it behind the scenes, because you're an actor up there on the horse. And I'll never forget how wonderful it was that I would connect with these young kids, and you would lock in on the eyes with the young kids in the stadium at the games. And I wasn't allowed to, but every now and then give them a little wink, because I had to be very stoic, but I would always try and connect with the kids because I remember, so funny, it's like Rudy going to the Notre Dame game and seeing that green field, and then him being on that field. That was me.
Yeah.
I was that kid in the stadium, staring at Chief Osceola, remembering the little, walkway to the stadium, the whole statue, the whole thing, the majestic stadium of Doak Campbell with the, largest brick, I think, structure in the United States, which was really cool. And I got to go be that. I was honored and blessed, and pay tribute to it. And everybody says, "Oh, do you hate the Gators?" No, I don't hate the Gators. I love all, Florida colleges and universities. Just want to win on that one day when we play them.
Yeah.
Other than that, I'm go state of Florida for the most part.
But it's probably, those games were probably so memorable, right? The energy between FSU and UF, and the rivalry and everything is like pretty special.
I'll never forget. It was during the Tim Tebow, which I'm a huge fan of Tim Tebow. The guy's a legend, great human being, believer, the whole thing, and inspirational. And I'll never forget, I was on the horse, and I watched him in the game raining. I stay on a horse, full downpour. I'm in rain, sitting there on this horse, and we're just getting rained on. It's getting very slippery too. And I watched Tim Tebow move a mound of 300-pound guys into our end zone. And then he comes up and he's just full of, our garnet and purple all over him, his helmet and everything. He just comes up and I'm watching him on the horse. He's almost as big as me on the horse and scoring it. And you're just, yep, you just beat us, but I admire you because you're an incredible human being that was just able to do that. So I'm a huge fan of what he was able to accomplish. That was one of my more memorable games.
Yeah. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Now, were you Chief Osceola for one season, or do you get to do it multiple
I was there
years?
for one season,
Okay.
and it was my senior year, and they wanted me to stay on and continue my MBA and stay on and keep being the Osceola, but it was a lot of work.
Yeah.
So I was blessed to do it one season. Could I have done it a couple more? Probably. Would I do anything to go back and do one more ride? 100%. And you don't realize it when you're in it because it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
You are there. It's like everything in life. You don't realize in the moment of how special it is or what you're doing. There was moments where I were doing it, but you were so focused on executing and being there and being the 12th man of the team and horse safety and the whole program that you didn't really take in that I'm the one that 90,000 people are looking down and cheering on, and I could make them all stand up out of their seat. And it was, I ripped all the muscles in my back out because I had a winged scapula, which is where your scapula kind of pops out, because I was so addicted to pumping the whole spear up and making everybody get them up out of their seat that I kind of felt like a rock star.
Yeah. Of course.
So I was doing it a lot and didn't realize at the end of the game, my shoulder was just flopping around. I'd ripped all the muscles. So every game thereafter, I was there with the training. I'll never forget all the football players in there. Like, what's wrong with you? I'm like, oh, my muscles are ripped out. So they were taping my scapula back in. I had to have it taped for the rest of the season, the games. And, but the adrenaline, you just live in the moment.
Yeah, there's nothing like that for sure.
No,
I can relate maybe on a little scale of being an NFL cheerleader. I grew up watching the Dolphins play and Dan Marino, and I would wear a little cheerleader uniform that my mom had gotten me, and I would dance on the table at my house for my dad and all his friends. Ask any of my dad's friends. They're all remember when I had the cheerleader costume on when I was like 6 years old. And growing up wanting to do that and then to be a part of it and the energy, if I took the uniform off, nobody would know who I was. But when I had that uniform on, it was like, watch out. Like you said, rock star. Like people are like cheering for you and, you're signing autographs. It's like, but I remember one time I carpooled with a bunch of girls and we stopped at a rest stop and we all had our uniforms on because we were going to the game. And all of a sudden, like we had to stop. Someone had to use the restroom, but all of a sudden we were like bombarded with people around us. And we were like, uh-oh, we might be in a weird scenario here. We need to get back in the car.
Back in the car.
Let's go, But there's
oh, that's
nothing
cool.
like
I didn't know
being,
they were the cheerleader for the Dolphins.
Yeah. And I just got to go do an alumni game last year in November. They do one every 4 years. And dance on the field pregame, and my son got to see it, and it was really, really special.
Do you still have them memorized, the routines?
No, it was a different routine.
Yeah.
We had to learn something new, but it was really, really fun. And my son was kind of like, whoa, like,
hey, Mom.
That's my mom, like on the field, and it was pretty cool. Do you ever have any kind of like alumni?
Every 5 years.
I would imagine you, okay,
Every
5 years.
We're welcome back to the field. I have a lifetime pass on the field, and it's great to meet the new Osceolas portraying the new students.
Yes.
And I constantly tell them, it's our job to kind of tell them how important it is what there are, really respect the tribe of the Seminole tribe, but also respect the moment. Like you're in this beautiful moment. You kind of, as you kind of see yourself from up here and you're like, is that me in it? You're kind of an out-of-body experience performing and doing that. And you just get in a routine and you execute. And I'll never forget being in that hallway when they would do the fly over the horse. And every single time, no matter what the game was, my stomach is in knots getting ready. But the moment I started running on that field, it was just like execute. It just went from nerve to execute. Nerve, and it's the same thing even to this day, how many triathlons I've done, the nerves and the I guess the adrenaline that just flows through your body, which is kind of addictive. It's like this drug that just pumps through your body really quick right before you start the triathlon. And all of a sudden you start triathlon and then it goes to execute. But that surge of adrenaline through your body, it's cool.
Yeah.
It's fun. I highly recommend it.
I always feel like I'm going to pee in my pants.
Yeah.
That's my adrenaline. I'm like, whoa, I got to pee in my pants. Because I'm still performing, and getting out there. So
but
every time
it's what makes us feel alive.
It's what makes you feel alive. Exactly.
And I would say, here's our inspiration to all of our viewers is go do something like that makes you truly feel alive, not living, but feel alive.
Yes.
A great quote that I always loved is, everyone dies, but does everybody truly live? And so make sure you go live and don't just get through your day. Go live.
What makes you feel alive right now? Like, is it the triathlons, like that competitive space?
I'd say that. I still get out and play polo here and there, which is the oldest team sport in the history of the world, which is wonderful, which is great to be part of a team. You don't realize, like, you reminds me, you show up and if you don't perform, you're letting 3 other guys down or gals, 3 people down. Still compete in the triathlon. I do the Alcatraz swim from San Francisco, and that's one of my bigger ones.
What is that like? Alcatraz
intensely
swim.
Awesome.
Is it?
It sucks in the moment, but it's also so cool and beautiful. And San Francisco is such a beautiful city. And to be able to swim, I jump off a boat and swim 1.5 miles in. And, are there great white sharks there? Yes. Are there seals swimming around you that are worse than the sharks? Because the seals if they bite you and they're curious, but nothing's ever happened in 30 years or 40 years of the event happening. So, you're out there with 2,000 people around the world. So you're just like, hope the shark picks them, not me, kind of thing.
But everyone is like,
everybody's clamoring, and you're on this big, it's called the Southern Belle, I believe. And it's this boat, and everybody's on there from around the world. And it's so cool. People from Germany and Australia or UK or China, whatever. And you're talking to them. And all of a sudden they play the national anthem. And then all of a sudden it's this, hey, great to see you. Nice to meet you. All of a sudden this, like, we're no longer friends anymore. Like, wait, what? We're just friends like 2 seconds ago. And it's just, that turns everybody on, right? That national anthem. Then it's like go time. And the boat literally starts to rock like this on its side, on its keel, because all 2,000 people go to one side to all jump out the side. 2,000 people get off that boat within a 2 to 5 minute span. And it's just a melee of people swimming in. And then you make it, and you got your family there cheering you on when you hit that beach. And 55-degree water. You can't feel your feet. By the time you get there, you're completely numb, but you just mind over matter, power through to realize that human bodies can do so much more than you think you can do. And I'm not some freak of nature by any means. I just feel like, why do you do it? I'm like, because the uncomfortableness of it makes me go back to everything else in life and look at that as easy. Because I've set a new level of hard and difficult. And so those challenges are life, because life is going to be nothing but a bunch of challenges and difficult times with great times. But as you know, it's never perfect. So it helps me handle those difficult times because I've built up a little thicker skin, I guess, if you will. And then you see your family, and then you get on that bike and you bike up and down those hills of San Francisco. And then you run through the incredible parks that they have there, and these trees that are just majestic, and the Golden Gate Bridge, feeling the breeze and the wind off the ocean. Nothing like it. It's really special.
That is cool. Can't say I would ever do it.
You never know. You never know.
I'm not a swimmer in open water like that, for sure. That's not my deal.
I wasn't either, but I wasn't even a swimmer growing up, right? But I learned and trained with people, and they taught me it's like anything, like any sport, any technique, anything. There's a technique to everything. And once you learn the technique to the best of your ability, now I can get through water like a pencil, and I'm not always in my best shape because it's hard to constantly do that on top of life's challenges. But I, taught myself how to become a better swimmer. I was never a swimmer.
What is some of your wellness, like what are you doing on a day-to-day basis? Because you are training, but you have this incredible business as well. So how are you finding balance, and what are some of the wellness things that you do? Like, is there anything?
It's a roller coaster, right? Everybody looks at me as this triathlete, blah, blah, but no, I mean, I'm not always perfect and, I have bad habits and so on and so forth. But I think it's balance, right? Knowing when you're out of sync in something, right? Mind, body, spirit, family, friends, check in with all of those. Matthew McConaughey said it best, right? Check in all the time with all those aspects. I find that when I'm not exercising, I'm unhappy. So I know that exercise really, truly releases the feel-good endorphins, if you will. Try to always eat well, obviously every now and then cheat because you need to on, a fast food meal. And then after you regret it, you're like, why did I just eat that? That was a bad decision. I wish I would have just fasted and been hungry. Like everybody else, diets and fads and, vitamins, supplements all come in and out of different waves. I did get inspired by reading Tom Brady's book and just the immense importance of water. So I really try to drink as much water as humanly possible. So I always have a thermos with me full of water, and I'm constantly drinking water all day long, which is a distraction because then you got to go to the restroom a lot during meetings and all this stuff. I'm like, but I don't care. I'll choose that over, hydration is just so important. I would say that's probably my number one. If you were to ask me one thing, it's the hydration.
Hydration.
Stay hydrated because that, fuels the brain when you've got headaches. Well, most times it's from being dehydrated. And you read up on just how often human beings are walking around dehydrated. Everybody thinks that drinking something is hydrating you. It's not.
Yeah.
It's the right thing to drink. So,
Are you putting something in your water?
A lot of times, pro tip for flavor, right? Because water's boring.
Yeah.
So I will start off in the morning with I'll throw an electrolyte tab in there, and then because you need that to kind of absorb the sodium from the loss from sweating. It all depends on if I'm training hard or not. If I'm not training hard, I'm not doing a lot of that stuff and eating as much. But if I'm training hard, and then I like to keep filling that water throughout the day, and that's there's a remnant of good flavor in there. So you're not drinking boring water because plain water gets boring, right? So, and then there's all different things you can do to flavor water just to give it, even put a little lemon juice in there, or lemonade or whatever, just to kind of to make it not so boring. Yeah,
I've gotten so into the water has to have something in it.
Yes.
Because it just makes it more exciting.
Yes.
And, I kind of vacillate. I'll have one electrolyte thing, and then I'm like, okay, I'll drink some plain water. I'll put a hydrogen tablet in there. That's good for hydration.
I never heard of that one. I'm going to try that.
Yeah. The hydrogen is really good.
Okay.
Yeah, it's supposed to kind of impact your cells to where you can feel,
absorb
I guess, better.
More.
Yeah, it has kind of a weird taste, a little bit, but it's manageable.
Okay, good to know. I'll try.
It's almost like a charcoal taste, but very light tasting, so it's not too bad. What is one small thing that you think has made the biggest impact on your success in business?
Oh, one small
It doesn't have to
thing.
be small. I said small, but it doesn't have to be
one small thing.
It can be anything.
I would say the one key ingredient that I have found in the journey of my professional career, whether it be at Bolay or all the things I did before Bolay, it's the people. The people. It is all about the people. And as cliche as that sounds, or as much people repeat that, it is all about the people. And it's the most probably difficult part of any business is finding the right people, selecting talent, right? Nurturing the talent that's with you, alongside of you in the journey, inspiring the talent, healthy motivation of pushing them to think bigger and outside the box of what they do. I always look at, if you ever worked out, right? You have a trainer who, you could do, let's call it 10 reps. 8, you get to 8, you're like, I don't think I can do the extra 2. That trainer pushing you to do that extra 2 and say, hey, actually, you can just hit 10. Give me 2 more. And that is a nice way of motivating, pushing somebody outside their comfort zone, believing they can do better than they can do. And so I would say finding their wonderful talent to join on your mission, and all different stages of the business too, right? Early days, there's a certain group that's there in the early entrepreneurial gunslinging days, and there's another chapter of the business where it's taking it from here to there, and you need another set of skill sets that surround yourself, because I always believe in surrounding myself with people way smarter than I am and helping making the business better. So recognizing where your weaknesses are and surrounding yourself with wonderfully talented people.
I love the gunslinging days.
Yeah.
Of course.
Those were the most fun days too. In
Were they?
Oh, yeah. The hardest days, the working days, but it was the most rewarding because you would see impact quick. Now when the business is bigger, whatever decisions or changes you make, you don't see the impacts right away. It's a lot more planting seeds and you think it through. So again, that evolution of quick gut decisions versus more thought out long-term decisions. That's the pivot, I guess, if you will, of the business journey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love that. What do you want to leave us with today, Mr. Gannon?
I would say the number one thing that I like to inspire people to do is I am by no means some superhero genius or whatever, and don't claim to be, and far from it. But I had so many people along my journey lean in on me and give me advice, always there to answer. I can call so many people and ask for advice. I've had at college or high school or even younger days, great minds come in and speak to the classroom and inspire us more than any book could ever do. And so I try to do that as much as possible with podcasts, with going and speaking in schools and inspiring young men and women to go think outside the box. So I want to leave everybody or inspire everybody to give back with your, not only just not money and financials, but really your time and your inspiration to the next generation. Because I think if we just all keep lifting each other up and making the next generation better than us, then that's how we just keep growing as humanity, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. Chris Gannon, thank you so much for being here on The Cinnamon Effect.
Honestly, it was my pleasure. It was great.
Thanks. Thanks for tuning into this episode of The Cinnamon Effect. If you enjoyed our time together, don't forget to hit that follow button on your podcast app and sprinkle a little love by leaving us a 5-star rating and a quick review. Your support means the world to me. For even more goodness, check out the show notes where you'll find links to some of my favorite products. And don't forget to visit thecinnamoneffect.com to connect with me directly or to grab your TCE Gratitude Journal, your next step towards a more grateful life. I can't wait to spice things up with you again next time. Stay vibrant, stay inspired, and remember to add a little cinnamon to your life every day.